Hello and welcome. We finally got some new updates on Bronzebeard, Project Ascension's Classic Plus realm. We finally got updates for the Red Paladin and the release of BWL. In this video, I'm going to show you my updated Retribution Paladin guide to show you which build is the best you can play to jump into BWL to get the best out of your class, including gear that you can wear right now and which you can wear in the future after BWL release, as well as Mystic Enchants, new builds, talents, and everything else you need to jump straight into the raid. So let's get into it. The recent update for Bronzebeard brought some changes for the Retribution Paladin. I would love to get some more variety in my builds, but to be honest, that's not happening with this update. Our best build still is Twist of Faith, and I'm going to show you how you should build it. Basically, there is one build which is by far the best you can play right now. You can do a few tweaks here and there to make it more viable for AoE or single target, but overall this is our cookie cutter build which will get you the best damage right now. For legendary enchant, I go Twist of Faith. Twist of Faith is the best legendary mystic enchant right now, and Seal Twisting is the strongest version of Retribution Paladin you can play right now. The reason for this is you can go with Seal of Vengeance in combination with Seal of Righteousness for single target, and Seal of Vengeance and Seal of Command in cleave and AoE situations. Seal of Vengeance is just so good that we have to take it basically every boss fight. It ticks for so much damage over a long duration. Also, Seal of Vengeance and Seal of Righteousness both get support from our runes which we play, so it's absolutely great. And Seal of Command is just an AoE rune to combine it with Seal of Vengeance, so Twist of Faith is our best legendary enchant. With the recent update, this also got a little bit changed. We now have 12 seconds with our active seal instead of 8 seconds. This means we now have more room in our rotation in between before we have to seal twist again. When we activate one seal, the cooldown is still 8 seconds to reactivate your second seal, but when I press it right now, it now holds for 12 seconds, so this means 4 more seconds to press other buttons in between in our rotation. I will show you this later on in our rotation, as well as a WeakAuras to track your active seals to get the maximum out of your build. But before we continue, I want to present to you a new partner on this channel, Into DM. Into DM is a team of American artists and creators who develop clothing since 2012 with a great vision. They see clothing as a canvas to express what drives you. What exactly does that mean? Into DM sells clothes for gamers with unique designs, but they are also great for casual occasions. I was able to pick out a few items from the selection and decided on a snapback cap, this cool black t-shirt with a Japanese design, and a casual white t-shirt with a logo. I will wear the black t-shirt in the summer, and the plain white t-shirt pairs great with sweaters or jackets when I go out with my wife. The clothes are high quality, well designed, and really comfortable. I'm absolutely impressed by their quality. Check out Into DM and use the code WHITEHAIR to get 10% off your order. Just click the link in the video description to get to their shop. If you're ordering from Europe, delivery might take a little longer right now due to customs, so please keep that in mind. For my American viewers, there are absolutely no restrictions. Feel free to check Into DM out to get some great new clothes for the summer. Now, let's go back to the video. For epic enchants, I go with Sword of Vengeance. This just is too good to not to play it right now. After 5 stacks of Seal of Vengeance, you deal 560 additional holy damage, which will scale up even more with raid buffs on your active targets, and it clears to other targets around you. Even on single target, this is so much damage that it's the best you can play right now. Take Sword of Vengeance. Crusader of the Light, our second epic mystic enchant. After 12 attacks and melee abilities, our Avenging Graph, our wings cooldown gets reduced by 10 seconds. This means more wings overall. It's our highest damage modifier. 20% more damage for 20 seconds. Insanely good. So we want to have this up as long as possible, and this helps with it. Also, it has a built-in Hand of Justice effect with a bonus attack. Our third epic mystic enchant, Divine Resurgence, is our best option right now. This also got changed and buffed. Before the buff, it only applied to Divine Storm to give you a chance to not trigger its cooldown. Now it also affects our Judgment. Now our Divine Storm and Judgment have a 15% increased critical strike chance and a 100% chance not to trigger any cooldown. I think this tooltip is bugged right now when I read this. I think it was about 20% chance to not trigger any cooldown. So basically what this means is in your rotation, when you press Judgment and Divine Storm, as soon as your global cooldown comes back, you can press this again. Combine Divine Resurgence with Sword of Vengeance. This means we get Sword of Vengeance way more often. We can judge way more often. So this combination is insanely good. If you don't want to play Divine Resurgence, you could also go with Branding Seal. This applies more damage on your heal and Judgment of Righteousness by 15%. It also got changed a little bit. And also your Exorcism, Holy Wrath will trigger Seal of Righteousness. This is a viable choice as well. If you don't want to play Divine Resurgence, it's less buttons to press in the end, but it also will change up your rotation a little bit, because with this you have a higher focus on Exorcism and Holy Wrath to make it more viable. But with the changes to our stuff, we don't want to press those buttons so often. So overall, Divine Resurgence is the better choice in my opinion right now. I will show you in the rotation how it works. For rare, Mystic Enchants, I go with Seals of the Pure. 15% more damage for Seal of Righteousness and Seal of Vengeance. Insanely good. Live of Vengeance, Seal of Vengeance and Seal of Corruptions increases our expertise by 10. This allows us to get better gear because 10 expertise for free. Divine Strength for 15% more strength, just a big damage buff. Live of Judgment, this got adjusted a little bit. Our Judgment deals 25% more damage but have a 1 second increased cooldown, and it's guaranteed to trigger Vindication if known. I will show you this in the talent sections in a second, but the 1 second doesn't matter with Divine Resurgence because we can just proc it more often anyway, and it's also not so bad in our rotation, so insanely good. Live of Consecration increases the duration and cooldown of Consecration by 2 seconds and the damage by 20%. Insanely good. It not only helps you with your rotation to press other buttons in between, 20% more damage on Consecration is also insane. This is one of the best rare runes we can play right now. For Artifact Rune, Light's Hammer, just another ability to press for damage, insanely good. And I waited with this one here for a reason, because Glyph of Righteousness is for single target, obviously your best choice because you want to play Seal of Vengeance and Seal of Righteousness. But if you want to absolutely min-max, you can make 2 rune pages and swap Glyph of Righteousness out for Glyph of Holy Wrath for AoE scenarios, because it reduces the cooldown for Holy Wrath by 15 seconds. So you can play this page here for single target and you swap out Seal of Righteousness for Glyph of Holy Wrath for more AoE damage. This is basically the only way I would suggest you to play right now. Execution Sentence is fun, but by far not good enough to play it right now. So this is our absolutely cookie cutter build right now for BWL. For talents, 5 points into Benediction to reduce the mana cost of all instant cast spells by 10%. Improved Judgment decreases the cooldown of our Judgment spell by 2 seconds. Heart of the Crusader for more crit overall. 2 points into Vindication, as we have seen with our Mystic Enchant Rune of Judgment. This always applies now and reduces the damage of the target by 170. That's a lot of damage overall and helps a lot in your raid. It depends on if you have other Red Paladins in your raid. You could also use 2 points into Improved Blessing of Might. If you don't have this buff in your raid, then obviously take that, but one of your Red Paladins should take Vindication for sure. Conviction for 6% more crit. Seal of Command, obviously we need that. 1 point into Pursuit of Justice for more movement speed, really cool, and a chance to not get hit. Sanctity of Battle for more crit and more damage on Exorcism and Crusader Strike. Crusade for 6% more damage overall, basically. Sanctified Retribution for 3% more damage for everyone in your raid, insanely good. Two-handed Weapon Specialization, 6% more damage. Enchants stacks up 3 times and gives you 9% more holy and physical damage, insanely good once again. Repentance for a crowd control ability. Art of War to increase the damage of Judgment, Crusader Strike and Divine Storm by 10%. And also your Exorcism becomes instant. Judgment of the Wise to get mana back for you and everyone in your raid every time you judge, insanely good. Fanaticism for more crit and less threat. Sanctified Wrath to increase the critical strike chance of Hammer of Wrath in your execute phase and reduce the cooldown of your wings. I don't have to say much about this, insanely good. Promise of the Crusader for 10% more hit and crit for Exorcism. With Retribution, 3% more haste for everyone. Death of Light to funnel 30% of our attack power into spell power, also insanely good just for buffing up our damage. Righteous Vengeance, a great dot which we get from crits, and finally Divine Storm. Alright, for gear. For preparation for BWL, I suggest you to get 6 pieces of tier 1 in the Ascended version if you can, of course. The proc is insanely good of this, and it's basically the best set we can wear right now. It gives us everything we want stat-wise, and the 6 set bonus does so much damage that it's often my 5th place on the DPS. For example, when we look here, in my last Onyxia fight is on the 7th place here, but that's because Dragon Killer is here inside, which is a mechanic, so 6th place basically insanely good. So I would absolutely suggest to play tier 1 right now. I'm using the hands, belt, boots, razors, chest and shoulder. For off pieces, I wear the Lionheart Helm of Expert Might, a crafted item, and the Titanic Leggings of Swift Might. If you have the Onslaught Girdle in the Ascended version, I would suggest to wear this instead and take the tier 1 helmet, because it's basically the better option to play. But for me, I had this Lionheart helmet here with the Sul'Gurub enchant on it already, and since BWL releases soon, I can swap this out so soon that it's not worth for me for only a few stat points to change this like this and to invest so much gold. But basically, this would be a better option. I wear for neck the Elder Magus pendant. Right now, Mythic 10, you can get it in Mythic 15 version if you clear Mythic Plus up to 15. This is just insanely good. It's a Mythic drop. It gives us spell penetration, crit and hit. We need to get about 60 spell penetration stat-wise, and we get this from our neck and from our Pip's Rudstone Trinket. It's a Worldforged item. You can learn in this video how to get it, and together with Rough Weathered Ring, we get about 60 spell penetration, a little bit more, and that's enough to cap it out. Elder Magus Pendant, Pip's Redstone, and Rough Weathered Ring for spell penetration. Those items also give us hit and crit here, pretty good, as well as crit here and active effect. And Rough Weathered Ring gives us haste and attack power. That's the best load we can get here. For cloak, I go with the Shroud of Domination, strength and crit, insanely good. That's we absolutely want. Tier 1 bracers here. For weapon, I wear Sulfuras because I crafted this in the heroic version a long time ago. You could also go, if you don't have this, with the Onyxia axe. I will show you this in a second on the upcoming gear which you can wear. It's also a pretty valid option. For ring, I wear a Band of Sulfuras of Expert Might. This gives us strength and expertise. You can wear any other version of the Band of Sulfuras with attack power, strength, crit. Something like this is also viable in the slot here. And finally, for our trinket here, Eternal Flame artifact. This increases our haste rating by a lot from a proc. Insanely good. If you don't know stat-wise what you should go for, you should go for strength, crit, haste, and obviously 8% hit and 26 expertise. Those are your stats you should aim for in this order. Hit and expertise is more important to get your caps first, but afterwards strength, crit, haste basically. For Libram, I take the Libram of Amphibious Devotion. It's our best option basically because the proc is just so good that it permanently deals damage, so just a really good relic. After BWL release, I would suggest you to simply swap out your tier 1 to tier 2 when you can get it. The tier 2 set seems to be the better tier 1 basically, insanely good. So we go with 6 set of tier 2 with hands, boots, razors, breast, shoulder, and helmet. And for off pieces, I would suggest to get the Onslaught Girdle in the Ascended version, as I told you before. That are just too good to pass on this, as well as Titanic Leggings. I wear of Swift Might for strength and haste. You could also go with crit, for example, as a second stat, but that's what I would suggest. Take the Elder Magus Pendant and put it up to Mythic 15 or 20, what's available. Route of Domination, Mythic 20, insanely good. Better than Draconic Might from BWL. I wear Sulfuras, as I told you before. If you can't get Sulfuras, obviously Ascandy in the Ascended version will be better, will be even better than Sulfuras when you can get your hands on this. Otherwise, Ascended Sulfuras will be better. Mythic Ascandy also really great. Icequake Maul, I don't know about this item yet, but seems also really strong with crit and a lot of haste and attack power. And Infernus can be a really viable option here, as well as the Untamed Blade. This could also be really good. We have to test it out a little bit, but the proc can be insanely strong. We also get this new pole arm here, Kira's Half. This seems also to be really good with hit, crit and expertise and attack power. Herald of Woe could also be really viable for us. So a lot of good options which we can get. Also, right now, a really insane option is the Mace of the Dragon Knight. This has a stacking haste buff, crit and strength. If you don't have Sulfuras, try to get this one. It's insanely good on Retribution Paladin and basically your biz if you don't wear Sulfuras. So Mace of the Dragon Knight drops from Onyxia, insanely good weapon. Otherwise, aim for the same Libram, the Threadstone, Eternal Flame Artifact, Rough Weather Drink. Those are basically your best options in BWL as well. And the Ring of Trinity Force drops from BWL, gives us strength and crit. Insanely good, and I would suggest you to get this. For rotation, your rotation basically looks like this. When you run to the enemy, you throw your Light Hammer. Your first priority will be Judgment, Crusader Strike, Divine Storm to fish for a proc, get your Consecration off, Exorcism, Holy Wrath. So basically, this will be your prior order. Light's Hammer will be at the end of the orders just because at the beginning you have room to throw it out. What you want to do is press Judgment every time it's available. It's our main priority right now, followed by Crusader Strike to reduce the cooldown of Avenging Wrath, because every time we press it with a 4-second cooldown, we proc our Crusader of the Light with it to reduce the cooldown of Avenging Wrath. Divine Storm next because we want to proc it, and I think it also counts for a Crusader of the Light, Avenging Wrath reduction. Consecration because it's our next hardest hitting spell in this order. Exorcism because of damage, Holy Wrath because of damage, and Light's Hammer because of damage. But basically, when one of Crusader Strike, Judgment, or Divine Storm or Consecration comes off cooldown, you press them first before you press Exorcism, Holy Wrath, or Light's Hammer. This goes for single target, of course. You press your wings basically at the start of the fight, or when you know that Bloodlust comes out, so basically combine it always with Bloodlust, or when it's off cooldown. And then this looks like this. We activate our seal, Light's Hammer, run in, Judgment, Divine Storm, Crusader Strike, Consecration. I can press on Exorcism. I reactivate my seal now. Crusader Strike, Judgment, proc, Divine Storm, proc, Judgment, Crusader Strike, Consecration. I put a Holy Wrath in between. We apply our seal. Crusader Strike, Divine Storm, Judgment, and so on. So basically, that's how the rotation works right now. We have to fish for our procs, and as you have seen, I used this WeakAuras here, which tracks my active seal. So I don't waste the 4 seconds I see here when it's reapplying. You don't have to press this after 8 seconds. You can now press this after 12 seconds. And with this, you can use your other spells way more often in your rotation. So that's basically our single target rotation. For AoE, we change our active seals. We use Seal of Command and Seal of Vengeance, and our rotation swaps out a little bit. On AoE, once again, we press Light's Hammer when we run to the enemy. We go with Judgment, Divine Storm, Consecration, Crusader Strike. Then we go with Holy Wrath and Light's Hammer, Exorcism in this order. We always press Divine Storm and Consecration as well as Holy Wrath when it's up in an AoE scenario, followed by Judgment, Light's Hammer, Crusader Strike, Exorcism last. That's basically our AoE rotation, and after 12 seconds reapply your stuff. You will deal a lot of cleave damage with your Judgment as well. Keep this in mind when you press your rotation. So for AoE scenario, I'm applying my seal, Light's Hammer while I run to the enemy, Wings, Judgment, Consecration, Divine Storm, Holy Wrath, Divine Storm, Crusader Strike, reapply my seal, Judgment, Divine Storm, Consecration, Divine Storm, lots of procs here, Crusader Strike, Exorcism, Judgment, reapply my seal, and so on. Basically, that's our AoE rotation. Always prefer Divine Storm, Judgment, and Consecration as well as Holy Wrath over everything else when it comes off cooldown. For WeakAuras, as I have showed you before, I used the swing timer here, which shows me my active seal as well as my echo from seal twisting. All of this is in my swing timer WeakAuras here. I will put this in the video description or the pinned comment, one of those two, so you can just copy it and use it for you in game, because it's really helpful to get the maximum out of our damage. For consumables, you want to use Distilled Flask of the Executioner as your flask for crit and attack power, Elemental Sharpening Stones with Twist of Faith to increase the critical physical strike rating of your melee weapon. Use Chart Stake. This gives you 23 strength, so better than the table if you absolutely want to min-max, but the table is also fine. Scroll of Strength 5 to increase your strength. And I use potency potions as well in combination with my wings. You can also pre-pot them. You can also use haste potions. You can argue that they are even better, but I have those on stack, so I will use them up. If you absolutely want to min-max, then you take a Gnomish Battle Chicken and activate it before a fight. This has a long cooldown, but it gives your whole group 5% haste, and you swap it out before the boss is finally pulled. Some final words about how reds are right now and where they are standing at the moment. Retribution Paladins don't do the most damage at the moment. They do less damage than Shadow Priests, Warriors, Rogue, Mages, Hunter, even Shamans sometimes. Really depends on the situation and the fight, though you probably won't top the damage meters as a Retribution Paladin at the moment. But still, you bring so much support to your raid that Retribution Paladins are really needed for BWL right now. You bring auras, you bring buffs, you bring passive buffs which boost up the damage of your whole group, so you bring salvation and you bring some other tweaks to a raid which are so helpful that basically everyone wants Retribution Paladins right now. All guilds are looking for them for their races for top 1. It's a great time to play a Retribution Paladin at the moment, and it's really fun. But I would love some buffs to our damage to compete with those high DPS classes right now. Nevertheless, I think it's fun to play at the moment as a red paladin, and you should do it too. Alright, that's my guide for BWL. I wish you best of luck and a lot of fun in the new raid. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this useful, consider to like, subscribe and hype this video for more World of Warcraft Bronzebeard content in the future. Special thanks goes out to my channel members who support me with the hard-earned real-life money. Check out my partner into DM. Special thanks goes out to my channel members, especially everyone who supports me for such a long time now. Thank you so much, guys. This helps me out a lot.